Mm-hmm.
No, I don't need to.
Hi boys, let's go.
I could do one better if you want.
You're the next one now.
Yeah, I'm doing this now. First, I just want to say thanks for coming again. Obviously, this is like the trial one, but really trying to push out my boundaries and actually learn how to host and actually provide a good service that will impact you throughout the week. So first of all, I want to give you guys a gift of a journal and a pen each. Just because the journal has been ever present in my journey, helping me for creative ideas, planning, and all that kind of jazz. And inside there's a list of questions based on what you wanted to improve on the most. And there is a few book recommendations as well, depending on that one answer and that one question. So my mastermind is a 2-part documentary. It's all about having big balls, and I didn't really think about the topic much. It came to me and it's like what I wanted to talk about. And the first part of the documentary is all about having big balls to be yourself. For me, last year that was the key. If you're trying to improve on self-development and improve yourself to become the highest level you can in order to do things like be a businessman or be an architect, you have to be your true self. If you think about your potential, your true potential, your highest potential in a lock, say, yeah, you imagine a lock, and the key to unlock that potential is you being your true self. But every time you do something that doesn't align with who you are, or you're trying to like copy someone else because you're afraid of being an individual or being yourself, you're molding the key to now no longer fit the lock. So you can never truly have any development in a self-development journey if you aren't true, because you're not working on yourself, you're working on someone else, but that won't ever fit in your life. One of the examples that I'm going to give is the captaincy last year, which obviously is one of the major wins in my life, one of the biggest things I've ever done. And I made a promise to myself to have big balls during that year because that's what my team relied on. So for me, it was things like if I wanted to send a message at the beginning of the year asking people what their goals were, even though people might think I'm a weirdo or too serious about it, that's what I did because that's what the team needed. If I wanted to stand in front of the whole team at the beginning of the year and set the standards and set our goals, even though I was the first captain to do that, I did it because that's what the team needed. That's who I was as a captain. If I wanted to start the 2-1 clap, but everyone thought it was cringe at the start of the season, that's what I did because that's what they need me to do. If I cried during my pre-game speeches or things like that, that was me, so that's what I did. And one thing that really helped me to do is not only give me energy because I was my true self, but also give my teammates the energy to be their true self. And it kind of rubs off on each other where everyone's just comfortable being themselves and everyone can elevate so much quicker and so much better because the environment is, this is CJ, this is Bailey, and we're a team and we're going to go out together. It's not Bailey needs to be more like CJ or CJ needs to be more like Bailey. And that's what I really liked to do. And at the start of the year, a couple of boys told me that, well, at the end of the year, a couple of boys told me that at the start of the year, they thought I was a dickhead. They thought I was an absolute prick because I was setting these goals that the school had never even looked at, never even thought about. But then at the end of the year, or like 5 months later, we were lifting a trophy at Twickenham. And that player, the individual that told me he thought I was a dickhead at the beginning, at the end said that he was really proud of what I'd done and that it was an enormous achievement and I should never let it down. And for me, he said that no one else could have done it. And I think for me, it's because I was just who I was completely and unforgivingly. So then that's the first part, and I think that's the part that I've mastered quite well. It's just being individual, being me, being Kai, and being able to push that to the limits. The second part is something that I haven't quite mastered. And when I talk about this mastermind, when I talk to you two, it's more of, half of it is also talking to myself to reinstate a value that I want to push into the future, which is it's just having the balls and to let go of fear. And my thing is that my ancestors didn't die on a battlefield for me to be timid. You know, you always got to push, have big balls and do these things. And fear is a weird concept because it can hold people down. sort of paralyzingly, like to a point where they can't even move or they don't want to do something. And in those fearful moments, if it's whether flying abroad or talking to that girl, the times I've always conquered fear is the times where I've consciously gone and thought and said, no, I'm just doing it, I'm all in, I'm going there no matter what. And then as soon as I start walking, the fear starts to fade, and it just goes away. So if there's two situations, but one time fear is absolutely paralyzing me and the other fear disappears, then fear isn't actually reality, but it's abstract, which means you can choose the effect that it has on you. So for me, anytime that I come up to a fearful moment, I'm just going straight in, I'm going walking, and I'm deciding that fear has no impact. And so for me, for the next stage is that I want to do, no matter what comes up, if I have a gut feeling that I want to do something, there's a pretty woman over on the beach and I have the gut feeling of going over to her, and the only thing standing in my way is fear, then really nothing's standing in my way, because fear isn't real. And I want to move on to sort of my goals for August 2026. Well, it's quite small, but I was going to show you them. For August 26, I want to make 20k in revenue, which I've broken down to 2 trips for the month, both with 7 people coming, paying about 1.4k. Again, that's revenue, not profit. I want to hit 30k followers across the board, mainly on YouTube. And I also want to become the man who can, and half of that is getting over that fear. And then the last point, which is my vow to you, in order to hit these lofty goals, I want to put it to you, this is my vow to you two, as you're the first ones to come on my retreat, and I want you guys to lift the standard of what this can become. I vow to you that I'm going to wake up at 4:30 every single day, having written out my current goals and my 3 essential tasks the night before. I'm going to complete my 3 essential tasks. I'm going to stick to a no sugar, intermittent fasting diet. I'm going to post a weekly YouTube videos, 5 IG stories and 5 Instagram reels a week. I'm going to train every day. I'm going to have a screen time of 2 hours max. And I'm going to go to bed on time at 8 o'clock. And that is the end of my mastermind, which is more of just talking to myself, really.
Can I get those vows again, please?
Yeah, the vows are 4:30 every day, wake up. Having written my current goals and my 3 essential tasks the night before, completed my 3 essential tasks. Stick to a no sugar, intermittent fasting diet. Post a weekly YouTube video, 5 IG stories and 5 Instagram reels a week. 5 Instagram stories a day, train every day, screen time of 2 hours, and go to bed on time at 8 o'clock.